Hey man,
How's it going?
hey, it's going really well.
It's
Good to
good.
see you.
Good to see you.
Um, I thought just if nothing else for my benefit, I would record the walkthrough because I don't think I could take notes fast enough, and I know you're on a time limit, uh, and there we go. I will score about anything that you say about ice, just for in case that you know. I
Yeah,
did.
fuck
I'm
them.
not.
I don't know.
This is not. Yeah,
No
and
problem there.
as soon as I said that, I remembered that I'm talking to someone um, from Minnesota. So sorry about that.
Oh, yeah, no worries.
Well,
No worries. Uh, they were, yeah, they've been on my street a few times, even here in Chicago,
no, wait, really?
um, deploying fucking tear gas, like they're looking at a school and they're pissed off by the protesters, and so they just deploy like tear and CS gas. It's crazy. So. Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, I don't know what the mayor of San Francisco ultimately had to say to get them to back down here, uh, but it worked, and I'm not questioning it. But I don't think it's a long-term solution.
Well, I'm, I mean, you know, I think that we need to probably look at the wisdom of the like we won't let ICE into the jails kind of uh that I'm not sure that some of that stuff is the right thing to do. I don't know. We have another big thing of like this cashless bail shit is like totally out of control here where you can fucking basically kill someone and you will be out on bail, no problem.
You just promise you'll pay it?
There's no bail fees anymore. That's been eliminated.
What? I bet that was the point behind bail was to
No, so the bail has been used, of course, to oppress minorities in the
right?
past,
Yeah,
right? By charging them with crimes that won't you know bear out like in the actual courts, but can be used to put them in jail, and they don't have a way to get out.
right. And then their families have to move because they can't afford rent and
Yes, all kind. Yeah. Hmm.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So it's not necessarily an easy solution, but this law just went way too far in its implementation. So I don't know, but um, yeah, I haven't quite gotten everything working to through the player setup stuff,
Mhm.
but it's very close. A lot of it's just, we're starting the game a different way, so it's a different path through things. Not everything we have to make sure things are still happen sort of in the right order,
Right,
even though
right.
we're changing the order some. So, um, I'm pretty close, but that's basically where I'm at. It's just like getting. Now I've got everything where the players are selected, they have their ability to select their decks are then selected. That causes the start button to be enabled, and you can then proceed. But then, yeah, I'm not quite sure everything is behind the scenes. All ducks are in the row to
Right,
to
right.
to actually start the game yet, but we're very close to that point anyway.
Right on. Yeah, I guess in my sort of like naivete, I was expecting that, or expecting, I had presumed that that um if it's just you know one person playing against some AIs, that they they go in and they make their Illuminati selection and their deck selection, and they choose which uh, you know however many of like which Illuminati they want to play against, and choose decks for those guys, and then start the game. Um,
Yeah,
but it,
yeah.
but if and so that path at least seems the again, perhaps naively, like the least fraught. But when it comes,
Well, it's just that that's not the existing path, right? Because the existing path is basically you just select a faction. Behind the scenes, we create several AI players for you and start the game, right? So there isn't all of the, stuff to kind of like, okay, pause, like after the player selects their faction, pause there. They're now able to select the deck potentially or add another player, you know. So there's like, the automated stuff that just ran after you selected the faction. Um, that stuff had to be unwound a little bit and just reorganized around
got it.
this, you know, slightly different model. So
Okay.
I don't think it's right, like that you've chosen a bad way or like a way that's more expensive or less expensive as far as time, whatever, etc. It's just it still needs some stuff to just be different or whatever.
I I totally get that it's that it is different. This is, we heard a lot of people saying that that they wanted to be able to choose which Illuminati AIs
Sure.
they were up against, which makes sense.
Oh yeah.
But the but where I know I was getting out ahead of my skis a little bit was in just presuming that that like before you could you could have that sort of that experience via the main menu where you say, okay, you know I'm gonna host a game, who wants to join? And and your friends join the game, or in whatever facilities that we want to offer, or that we do offer, that we in the future want to offer around that. Um, and then once the the person uh, who was hosting the game says, "Okay, go," then what happens today is from the perspective of the person who who joined the game, is they have a little bit of time waiting, and then and then they get their faction selection screen, and they choose which which
Mhm.
Illuminati they want to be, and they don't know which Illuminatis they're up against.
Mhm.
So they might pick the same one as somebody. They might pick one that puts them at a disadvantage, or whatever. That's the way the game works. And then once all of the human players have done that, then it all rolls into the game, and we actually like see the game board, and the game kind of begins from there. So
Mhm.
I guess I was again uh like like maybe fairly naively just imagining that, because I wasn't, so the one thing I didn't know was if there was an order, like the if the host has to do their like deck selection, not deck selection, they have to select their Illuminati before then the other players are allowed to select their Illuminati, or if there's like four players, like is there an order, like does one person end up waiting a lot longer in that in the screen beforehand, or does it all just kind of, does everyone get to make their sort of ask at the same time, and then they and then the game just squishes it all together the right way and launches.
Um, Whatever way we have to design and build that way.
Okay. Well, but I mean, I guess I was more just asking what the current state of it is.
So the current, well, okay, so you went through the state that exists previous to any changes
Right.
that are now being made. The
Correct.
new way, so the new way, at this point does not incorporate multiplayer.
Okay. Okay. That's, I think for right now, that's fine.
Okay,
I
okay,
mean, we want that, but we can at least
sure.
we but we can at least test. with single player and AI selection. That's fantastic.
Right on, right
Yeah.
on. So and I just, as far as the multiplayer, we just have to decide like how do you want the player to decide that this is a multiplayer essentially game, and then how to
Mhm.
actually invite their friends to the game.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, you could just sort of put up an advertised session. You
Mhm.
could not invite anyone. If you didn't know anyone, you could just put up an advertised session. Um, that then you could go find from the session join menu. Um, or then you'd have some other interface to say, invite somebody, and it would bring up your little Steam friends list and or whatever. I think it's Epic and Steam friends
Yeah.
list, and you just send invites to those, and then it would just wait, and I guess, I mean, based on the email that you sent, it seemed to me like it was kind of the host is in charge because they have the power to select the AIs or not.
Mhm.
And so, you'd probably want to give them some information about how long maybe the session had been up, or how
Oh
long
yeah.
they had,
Mhm.
like, just in general, how long they're sort of waiting for somebody to come join their session if they've started a multiplayer session. I
Mhm.
mean, people gonna make up their own mind about, I don't know, how long to wait. Whether they invite a friend or not. If a friend doesn't show up at some point, they're gonna be like, "Ah, I'll just start," or they're quit, or I don't know.
Mhm.
Um, so right, and then you just have a kind of a thing where once the player joins, then and selects their faction, and you could make it so that the player didn't have to the host player didn't have to select their faction. I think that's kind of the way that it's done now, just because that's the existing logic. Like once you sort of load once you press the menu button, it's like, oh, hey, select a faction. So that's what we have. If we could change that so you didn't have to do that, you know what I mean? And then you could just wait, and when that player showed up, they would be able to choose from all the factions. But that's just a matter of how you want it to be
Mhm.
orchestrated.
Well, I thought the way that it was today that that you could choose as a human player, you could choose any faction, and if there were human duplicates in the game, then there were human
No,
duplicates.
it removes disables selected factions.
Really? Okay. Um, so there can't be a faction duplicate
I
across
don't believe so.
either players or AIs.
I
So
guess we could check again, but I was looking at the logic um, of the faction selection, and then there's this thing that disables the other, like, based on what factions have been selected.
oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I don't remember the last time that I tried that.
because
So,
I used it because when you select a faction, it disables that faction. For an AI, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
Mm, okay. Well, I mean, so the only, I mean, people, you know, so on the one hand, I expect people will sort of uh will want to do that or won't mind it, uh but 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 personally, I think it's more fun when you have like a non-homogeneous Illuminati lineup, right? No, or not even homogeneous, but if you like if you don't have duplicates of the of Illuminati. Hey boys, I'm sorry, I'm I'm on a phone call right now talking to some people. Um, I'm Sorry, I'm dead at my
Yeah, no problem.
at the birthday party.
The next, it's not gonna be bagels, next break it's gonna be food. So this is one.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
No, Joey, I'll put on my earplugs, which will also isolate you from some of the noise as well. Okay, this should be incrementally better. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, right on. Um, so so yeah, I mean, I wouldn't care, honestly, about you know, the so much about like not being able to have a duplicate uh um um uh, Illuminati, except there is an and we don't have to do that today or even next week or next month, but there is an Illuminati which depends on there being more than one of them in basically in order to win. Um, there's the Shangri-La, like that's like the peaceful Illuminati. Even if even if they have to destroy the world, there will be peace. But because they're a little bit weaker. But um, the uh, basically they get a bonus towards victory for every peaceful group in play across all the Illuminati. Um, and there was something about or oh yeah. So I forget if it was across all Illuminati. I think it's actually uh, uh that um yeah. So if you have two Shangri-Las, then all of the peaceful groups that they have are pooled together as basically their um their their victory. Yeah, sure, I think so. Okay. The birthday party's moving inside right now, so I'm going to move to a bedroom.
Okay.
Take more than a moment. Oh, sorry about this. I thought they were having a watch birthday party, and they were just washing cars outside. What do you want me to wash? Is it this way? Dean? Okay, thanks. No, no. I said it right there. Thanks, son. Okay. Now I should be actually determine the chaos. Some kitchens. But um, but I think it's fine for now, and we shouldn't. People ask for it, but we'll be giving them an awful lot here. I don't, and I think the game is more fun when you have different Illuminati playing. So, um,
Right on.
I guess the only thing that one of the I think one of the better reasons for wanting to change it is that basically if you are if you are one of the last people to choose an Illuminati, um, uh, you you know you can see which ones are disabled, and so you know which ones will be in the game, and so that could inform your decision to your advantage. But at the same time, we are also effectively letting the first player choose the AIs. So that's already that's already been sort of concerning me. I've been wondering if if you're not playing like a single player versus AI game, if in a multiplayer game you would only let each player choose one AI.
Sure.
So like in a two-player game, then that would at least be equal-ish. But it's all fine for now. I really just want to know what the state of things are. And it sounds like, I mean, it sounds like it's going to work. We just have some thinking to do about how best to manage the um the multi-human player side of things. But it sounds
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
you know one human, select your AIs, jump into battle and play. It sounds like that works.
Right. I mean, I feel like there's sort of like two options that you're sort of going over. The one is it essentially a you know network game,
Mhm.
and then the other is kind of related to that, which is kind of look, if it's a network game, should you be able to should the AI generation be like automatic,
Yeah.
essentially, or not you're not controllable by anyone.
Hmm.
Um, which we can do. I mean, it's like that's what we were doing before, so it would not be difficult to to spin that way up. You just have to more. It's just sort of like, well, how would you want the user to decide that you know this is going to be the way that it is. It's a multiplayer game, and maybe that just automatically means that nobody could select the AIs or something. That
Yeah,
that would be an easy choice.
I was
Um,
just arriving at that because I think it would honestly I think it would be better in a multiplayer game to just say you don't have AIs in
but like you
in
could
a
just put
meta
a,
network game.
I mean, you could just make it so that like when you had a button in the screen, the one that we have that is invites a player, and if you invite the player, the AI uh, thing goes away.
And if you have if you have an AI configured, you can't invite a human player.
Right, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like that. That's the decisioner of which path you're down.
you know,
Now, how do
that
you
is perfectly
unwind
reason. I
is
think
the
that's
one
reasonable.
question, though. How do you unwind? Um, you know, do you can you just delete? So for the AI, you could unwind it to the point of not having any AIs, because you could put in a functionality to delete the existing AIs that you've configured.
Right, and there was meant to be well, there would well the idea was that there could be like an edit button, but I did but it did
Sure.
but that there was really more intended to just be like to 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 edit yourself, not I honestly hadn't thought about it in terms of just I've configured three AIs, but I really
I just
I really
decided,
don't
oh, like
want
while I was
one.
doing this one, oh, what I really wanted to do was this or whatever, right? I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, so you have
people
to
will
have,
want to remove one once they put it up. You're right.
right.
Um,
It's just it's
but
basic.
but
Yeah.
right, but if you if you're going to switch games from or if you really want to invite a human player, we just warn them your AIs are going to be deleted.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sure.
Right? Proceed.
Mhm.
Rather than rely on them to
Yeah.
delete the individual ones, just say, okay, we're going to set this up for
Sure.
you. You cool?
Sure.
And
The question is, if you invite someone and let's say they don't respond, and you're like, okay, they're not around. I'll just
mhm,
play an AI game. How do you get sort of? I guess you could just
cancel
leave the
invitation.
AI adder placeholder up, and then if you just hit it, that'd be
Right.
easy.
Well, I think you'd want them to understand that they are explicitly canceling
Yeah, sure.
canceling the invitation. And then the create AI buttons become live again.
Right. Okay. Sure. All right. Well, uh, put that in. once we get the rest of the stuff working. But I'll go ahead and show you this stuff.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Hopefully it's showing the right screen with the sort of
Add,
placeholder.
yep. Add Sim.
All right. So, yeah, definitely need the fonts and like this is I just took a screenshot. I just took that screenshot and cut this out of it.
Got it.
So the assets. But yeah, anyway, here we go. With this, I just put it behind this one. I put the deck builder in there and everything.
Sweet. Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I made them thinner. I think maybe even thinner might be. I mean, they
Yeah.
fit all,
We can get all
but
six on the screen. Yeah.
yeah, but see, well, you'll see what happens. So okay, so we got that. We got a little deck counts here and everything, and then we can
Oh,
select another
badass.
one.
Really? That works?
Yeah, yeah,
Fucking hey, dude. That's great.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean it wasn't. Come on, it's not that difficult. All right.
I mean,
Anyway,
I know it's just math, but maybe I'm just easy to please.
all right. Well, so then, you can either this is continually, this is just edible at your leisure. You can come in here then add them. Let's uh let's see. So yeah, there's okay. Oh, and it doesn't okay. So yeah, there's some stuff like obviously it's not updating the name from the ad sim.
Right.
Uh it does update the deck,
Oh, sweet.
and then we got the start game. Because we got more than one players and they've all chosen a deck. So we got start game. These are placeholders. They're not being updated yet. The numbers are. But yeah, we can select. But I guess So what I was pointing out or mentioning earlier about the
So
width,
cool.
like this is cool, but we run out of room here basically, right? Because we're kind of like in this sort of six wide business, and which is kind of okay, but you're sort of like you're just running out of room
Right.
to whatever scroll around. So
Well, well,
uh
could you instead of like like muting one of uh the ones that are selected, could you just remove them from that carousel?
yeah, that totally is an option. Absolutely. Absolutely. um yeah, so anyway, that's just how it works right now. That's just
No, sweet.
basically.
Working is working. Improvements are great, but
Yeah, and then
but
I mean
yeah.
yeah, so it won't. I mean, this player doesn't really have a deck, so
Sure.
I have to I have to adjust the function that looks at this because it came on because both players had selected their decks, but it didn't properly reevaluate. Like this player doesn't have a deck selected, so it should
Mhm.
have reevaluated that, but I guess it didn't. So yeah, some things to do still, but yeah, that's where we're at.
Nice. Nice. And I mean, um, I can go ahead and get you, um, um, like saved decks. Well, yeah, I mean, I'll go ahead and um, make the 80s and 90s versions um, of the, you know, easy, normal, hard decks that I was designing for each of the Illuminati. So you can basically like choose the ferocity of your opponent, at least through one degree, uh, at least by giving it more damaging options. Um,
Right on. I was thinking about this. I do think we should that the I think it would be best to put the decks in as the pre-built decks,
Hmm.
which has kind of a different you have to do different stuff to use it slightly, you know. You have to kind of process it differently because you're going to look at the data table and then make a deck out of that instead of looking at the save game file and making a deck out of that.
Hmm.
Um, but it's I think it's easier significantly to manage from essentially from your point of view, controlling the decks, use just being able to use the, you know, whatever Excel or spreadsheet instead of or actually don't you have a database as opposed to having to go and use the deck interface to make the save game file
I
with them in there.
Yeah, I thought it was really easy because basically like all I had to do was just like select the
Kind
cards, and then I can
sure.
actually like see live like these are the cards I'm putting in here, and then save the deck, and then
Okay.
it just shows up as a .sav file, and
Yes. Yes. All right. Well, what I do think that we should do then is we should make sure that there's a save game file essentially for that purpose that's different from whatever the user's save game file is.
correct. So so I was
When does
thinking
that
that.
already?
Mhm.
Did you do that already?
Well, I mean, I had um uh at a naming convention that's I think similar, kind of similar to how you're showing it here. As I started building them out, I mean, I said a couple of them, but I think it just had the name of the name of the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so so
Right.
so so I just gave it so the like the uh, the number of well. So uh, I was giving it the number of era just in the file name, but I can change that because ultimately we're going to have 5 eras, and so um, so that just I don't seemed easier. But I'm just as happy to put 2020 or whatever as 2020 hyphen uh, the the uh, the level of you know the level of the uh the the Illuminati sort of like number, however we have it indexed, and then hyphen the level um of easy, medium, hard, just as 0, 0, 1, 2.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Now, is that the deck name or is that the save game name?
Well,
That's
that
that's
is that's the that's the file name um
okay. Okay.
for the save file, which
For
I
the save
actually,
file.
now that you
Okay.
mention it, I think it is I think it is right now. I think I could be wrong. I thought it was being used as mm, uh as the deck name. So
Okay.
um
Okay.
the only reason though that I was using uh I was using like hyphenated indexes instead of like the name of the Illuminati or the name of the era is to support localization, so that
Okay.
um, you know as long as as long as there's a point where we're taking there's already a point where we're taking indexes and then just automatically translating them into text, that then depending on which language they're playing the game in, it will translate it. It will convert that one way or another.
Sure. Sure. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I just want to make sure we, like whatever the save game file that the users decks are saved in is not the same one that the default or like the AI decks come,
Um,
because
well, so when I'm generating them, they're showing up in the directory where the user would
yeah,
normally save
right.
them, but that's because I'm doing it as a user. But we could put them anywhere.
Y- Yeah, right, right, right.
Or or um or but I mean there um shouldn't be any name collision uh, between them simply because um you know I mean we could simply because there shouldn't be a like uh uh like an Illuminati designation in the players pre-built decks. They're building
Uh-huh.
decks now, often designed to work well with one Illuminati or another, but they're not like tied to an Illuminati
Mhm.
like the pre-built AI decks are.
Yeah,
Um,
right, right. Yeah. So I mean, because the users save like the existing um load deck from save game functions. Uh, you know, load and save from the user's um save game file
oh,
for decks.
right. From so that's as opposed to some some folder that is sort of like owned by the game as opposed to being in a public
Right.
folder, more or less,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No, but this works like I think this should work fine because so what we'll do is we'll take the save game file that is generated in your user, directory of your instance where you create the decks, right? And we'll take that and we'll put it in a game directory that is distributed that is not part of the user's directory system. So it'll have a different, and we could even rename the file, you know, so that there's less confusion, on our part or something. But
Even
um,
easier.
and then it's like, okay, the load pre-built, AI decks uses a slightly different version of the function that goes after the different save file. And the users still uses the same set of functions that just deals with this, their own save game file and their own save game directory. And so they don't really have any opportunity to delete the AI decks,
Right. Yeah, yeah. Fair enough.
nor and colliding with them isn't an issue either, right? Because there's no it's an independent they're independent things. So even if you
Cool.
did name one the same for some, like even if you named your directory like Bavarian 1980s,
Right,
and
right,
you somehow
right.
like accidentally got the formula right or something, it wouldn't matter. So
Yeah, yeah, because it would be in a path outside of the
yeah,
the
yeah,
route where the user starts. Yeah. No,
exactly,
cool.
exactly. And so your save game file would be like a read-only sort of a save game,
No, no,
you know,
yeah,
within the game, within the game assets. Yeah.
cool.
So I'll
But
ask, Claude about that. Make sure that's a good idea. But
um but uh but but besides that, the the deck building works and the um the um the 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 aspect of using separate decks for each player in a game is working, and that's And that's all
Well, we're
cool.
gonna find out.
Okay.
It should work.
Okay.
All I've reviewed a number of times, that indeed each player has their own deck. All the functions are hooked up to draw from their deck and everything. Um, so, you know, we'll see.
Right on. Let's check it out.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see what if it. I mean, it may work right now, but again, that's a matter of if we can get to the, game start procedure correctly. I mean, it sort of looks like it's working, but obviously don't have any breakpoints and stuff like that set to make sure that it's using my deck versus the other deck versus the other deck, whatever.
Well, it looked like Bermuda added two New York cards. Maybe it had two New York
Oh,
cards
that's interesting.
in there, and then your private dossier, you also have a New York card.
Yeah, so that's a problem. Let's see, how do we look at Bermuda? And they do
But
literally just have two New Yorks, so that's weird.
yeah,
Huh, that is weird. I didn't, yeah, well, let's see what happened.
wow,
So we got
20
Bermuda,
resistance
New
though.
York,
That's incredible.
straighten up the weird Jim Pro, charismatic leader. Then we took over New York for some reason. That's interesting. So I'm not sure how took over New York. We didn't say from where. Let's see what the log says. Just like this. Huh, that's interesting.
I mean, I guess we could look at the. I mean, can we see what the composition of the deck was? Maybe there were multiple New Yorks in there, and it just kind of and it just did what the deck let it do.
Seem to think that New York was in its possible attack list there.
Yeah. Um. Previously, you dumped a list of. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. You dumped a list of of like you know the deck in one big deck mode. Um, are we doing that with each player in this mode, or is it just because we know what the deck is that we can then go look at the deck and see what it has in it?
I mean, we can try to look at the deck and see what it has in it, possibly. I mean,
I mean, because I mean,
it's not.
there's there's nothing stopping you from putting two New Yorks in your deck. That's fine. But there was this other uh, this other feature that we were calling the agent card, where once a card comes into play, like it's actually taken over. Once a group has been controlled by an Illuminati, then all other instances of that card in the game in everybody's decks become agent cards.
Yeah, yeah, I
And
know about that.
oh, okay, cool.
That's not, we don't have it going on or anything yet. So, I mean, I understand it is in the list of things to do.
Okay, 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 got it. Well, I mean, I'm just trying to say that
Yeah, but
there are
it
good
doesn't look
reasons
like
there are good reasons to not
that's
worry about it.
the
Uh, yeah.
case. It
Okay.
doesn't look like that's what's happening here. So, yeah, I'm not totally sure what's happening. There may be some deck confusion there, but well, I'll have to check it out and see. It looks like it's in the AI evaluation stuff. So looks like, so there may be some stuff to do to get the separate decks, fully working.
Yep.
But
Well,
yeah,
looks like you've done a lot so far. Um, do you want to pass the the faction selection screen off to me uh to to style it up a little bit, and then I'll
yeah,
give you I'll give you sets of decks for for um for 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 all of the I'll give one deck for all three eras for all six current Illuminati.
okay, sounds good.
Um, and if I should be able to do that tonight. I um, um, it's been a pretty quiet well, after it was a bit kind of a tumultuous time. Like I spent 5 days in the past week in Santa Barbara helping my well convincing my mom to move into an assisted living situation from
Okay.
the sort of other living situation she was in. And my oldest son went from being so sick that he missed basically the first half of his senior year
Oh shit.
um, to um, uh, he's been while he was in his bedroom a whole lot. I'd gotten and starting last summer really, I'd gotten him one of those them newfangled DJ decks that the kids have,
Hmm.
um, which are like I don't know, they're 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 to my conception of DJ decks what um what like modern joysticks would be to like Pong controllers. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, right,
they're
totally. Yeah,
really, really sophisticated.
yeah.
And he got some he took the risk of like performing in public, and they invited him to DJ the back to school dance at his high school, and
Nice.
able to make him feel better. And then he did homecoming, and then um, he was feeling so bad and so bold that that he asked me, "Hey, Dad, so like, what are the cool places in San Francisco that I might want to like go do DJ stuff?" And and I was like, "Well, I mean, like the place that people go is the DNA Lounge, which is like, you know, uh, was set up by um, one of the earliest Netscape multimillionaires, and he's just been running that ever since." Um, and he convinced them to book him and then sold the place out, which
Wow.
was really, really surprising to everyone. Um, and yeah, and walked away with a with a check for what, $5,000.
Nice. Wow.
So he's now he has to pay 3 grand back to the person who fronted him the money,
Gotcha.
because
Yeah.
it was an all ages show and they don't expect to sell alcohol. You gotta
Mhm.
you gotta pay.
Well, sure.
Um,
Yeah.
but he was so excited, um, uh, to have gotten this check, only to then find out when he tried to do something with it that they absentmindedly, because it was in the middle of January, put 2025 on the check, and so the bank wouldn't honor it.
Because it's too
Uh,
old. Well, shit.
right. So now, so yeah. So the only other thing that I've like booked for my day is racing over to the DNA lounge in San Francisco with him, um, before, 6 o'clock or something like that, so that he can have a chance of saying "What up, G,"
Mhm.
uh,
Mhm.
to these guys. Um, but besides that, I'm totally I'm totally on. Um, yeah, this is looking good. Have you thought about a scheme for how you would manage um, the uh, the the agent feature?
Sorry, what is it, what is the power that it gives you again when once you
Oh,
have
it
what does an agent do?
yeah, it just gives you a +10 to attack whatever card that is. So like if I have if I have the if if I have an FBI group card in my hand
So
and
it
I'm
becomes a plot, basically.
it basically becomes a plot, but it doesn't count as a plot because you can have as many group cards in your hand as you want.
Sure, sure.
But yeah, that's exactly it. It acts as a
But
plot.
okay, so it's in your group and you can't actually use it to take over anything or
The only thing
you
the
can't
only
take it
thing
over.
Yeah, the only thing that you can do with that card is use it as a modifier to attack an existing played version of that thing. So
Yeah.
it's not that useful, but it's a way to uh it was a way to do that. I've and the other thing was I asked Steve, just in the spirit of making them more useful, because it doesn't sound that useful. Like I would I would feel a little ripped off, honestly, if I ended up with that. If I had like a really good card and then I couldn't do anything except attack the other version of it, which is often like an untenable fight, right?
Right.
Because if it's that powerful, if it's that good of a card, it's going to be,
Hmm.
on the first or second row of the Illuminati anyway, and then it's going to have, there will be powerful forces, so you'll the most likely outcome is that you make the enemy waste a few actions, and that's it. Like it, I think I think it's hard, but it may be more worth having agent cards if they could, if we treat them like those plots that give you like, uh, uh, either uh, you know, uh, plus X to attack or to defend.
Yeah.
So
Because I mean, we almost have to turn them. I mean, you know,
you'll have to
eh,
basically turn them into
from the
plots.
perspective of the game, we do not have this, you know, in multiple areas where we would need it, you know.
Mhm.
Um, it's like if we could put it in the plots, but then the plots were smart enough to know that it's not actually a plot and it doesn't count to the plot total.
Yeah, so personally, I think that would be great um, because I think it would be confusing. I always thought it was. done, honestly, to sort of keep them with, to keep them with my group cards
But not really.
because
They're
that's
not
not
in
what
the
they're doing
choices
now.
when
You
you're like
right.
looking at the choices,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like it doesn't make sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 So I mean, I don't have any problem moving them over with the moving them over with the block cards, and then just like I don't know, ignoring them in the count. That feels
Yeah,
kind of
but now
weird.
what if the original like card is destroyed?
Then then they don't change, because that card then is that original, well, because the group has been destroyed. So you can't revivify a group outside of outside of some other plot card or some other effect that we don't have in the game
So
yet.
all cards might as well be destroyed then.
Um,
Of that, you know.
right, right. Well, so you you you're better. Well, oh, right. Yeah. This is the other reason why not to count them as a why not to show them with the plots, is that you can still discard it to get a plot like you can any other group if you decide you're just sick of it.
Yeah.
Um, but the uh, but the point was that
Well, I mean, maybe we could just maybe there's a way to do it because we can. So it could what we could do is we could change the card text and the power to 10, and the card text says now adds the word agent somewhere on it,
yeah.
and
Well,
then you can just add it in to an attack, right? You can't lead with
right.
it.
Exactly.
Or,
You can't
well,
lead with
yeah,
it.
no, you
No,
can't lead
no,
with it because
no,
it's
you
not
can't
on the
lead with it
board,
because
right?
it doesn't have alignments. It doesn't have anything. It's
Yeah,
just a
right,
modifier, right?
right,
So
right.
it's not like an instant attack even. So
Okay.
so
Hmm.
you but um we have some cards coming up with special abilities which let you fish through someone's graveyard and
Hmm.
pull a destroyed card out.
Hmm.
And
Okay. Yeah.
but it but it requires basically a takeover attempt. And you could use the agent for that takeover attempt.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. I mean, that seems fairly reasonable. Just keep it as a group card, but kind of just change it.
So
Um,
so I was going to propose that we act that 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 we just create another type of group. So there's like orgs and personalities and places.
hmm,
So we just have agents, or, agent,
hmm,
and we use that as the filter um, for stuff.
sure. All right. That should be a problem.
And so I I, I was uh, I was thinking it would be that, and again, like, so as to make it clear while also um uh yeah, uh that um just uh having having a having a label we could just put over the art that says agent, for example. It would like look like a big stamp or something, and then just make the power and the resistance disappear. And yeah, I'm finally getting around to finishing all of these overlays with the special abilities nicely formatted, and we could just have it show the agent one of those. And
Hmm.
where right now we're just showing raw text.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Cool.
All right.
Um,
Well, um, yeah, I don't know. I have some time tomorrow, but not a whole ton. But I'll
check.
keep pushing forward. So I'll check
Yeah,
in. I'd like so the good news, based on what you just saw there, we can get through the start and into the game. So I'll check all that
yeah.
stuff in. There are some stuff that is not like completely, done yet, like whatever. You can change your deck once you've selected it, but you can't get that Illuminati out. And there's some other things that are not quite ready yet.
And
So
that's like for right now, being able to get the Illuminati in, great.
sure, sure.
And not being able to take it out, that's a
Yeah,
second order problem.
right. Cool. Cool. So yeah, but yeah, you can style it and add in the images and stuff like that. So
Cool. Uh, great. Well, thank you for writing all this. It really it feels like it's really coming together. That's
right on, right on. Cool.
um and um if you can get it checked in, um uh I'll also see how much of the so you know the graphics and the styling certainly, but then also like uh uh these special ability labels and and the uh and the agent group type, uh, so that we can have those to hang our hats on.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Sure. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right.
Cool. Well, thanks for
Uh,
taking all the time. I know this is you have stuff to do in your day, so I'll let
right
you get
on.
back to it. Uh,
Cool.
but
All right.
thanks for doing all this, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Sounds good. All right. No problem. I'll see you later.
Thanks again, Matt. Bye bye.